Hello, new and returning team members. It is Tuesday, April 9th, and this is our welcome call for new and returning team members, where we talk about how to have a great launch and just generally how to get off to a great start. So my name is Michelle Zito. I'm a company vice president within this organization, and I'm from Long Island in New York. And my job is to help support you and help train you, and also to cheer you on so that you can have a successful business here at Park Lane. So I usually am more Facebook friends with people when they come on to this call, but if we're not already Facebook friends, of course, you can feel free to Facebook friend request me. So I am thrilled to be among the first to welcome you to the team. For your knowledge, this call does take place weekly, unless I happen to have, like last week I was traveling, and so we didn't have it last week, but there's always a recorded version available, so that if I wasn't offering it and somebody was new and really wanting to get started, you could always give them the recording, because this is literally the same every single week, unless I'm just touching upon something that's specific to that week, the way that I'll do tonight, like with rich rewards and stuff like that. So other than that, yes, it takes place every week. The call is exactly the same. And the reason we do it the same and we do it every single week is because what if Angel has a recruit next week? Then that person can come on to next Tuesday's call and get the same exact information, and that brand new recruiter doesn't need to know anything besides that this call exists. And then we get you caught up, and that way we get you promoted. So on tonight's Zoom, we're going to focus on our Rich Rewards program. That's our program that allows you to earn free jewelry and discounted supplies for your kit, as well as how to introduce your friends and family to Park Lane. And that includes, of course, having a fun and successful launch party. So I hope that you are prepared to take some notes. Now, there are times that I'm going to be giving like scripts. Those you don't have to try to write down. There's already a document with the scripts, and I'm just going to point out to you where they are. But there's other little parts you'll want to write things down. But yeah, you don't have to try to write down paragraph scripts. Let's go ahead and get started. So Park Lane is super generous to us. They know that we always want to add more jewelry to the kit, right? I want to add more jewelry to my kit. I've been here for 5 years. You want to add more jewelry to your kit, and you may be brand new, or maybe you're somewhere in the middle and on with your new recruit tonight. There's never a time where we're like, I have all the jewelry I need. However, we don't want to be spending all of the money we earn on jewelry. That would be crazy, and also counterproductive to why we all started a business. Because I'm going to assume that you all joined this business to make money, right? Not to spend it. Because that, what's going to cost you money is a hobby. And if you were just bored, you could have joined a bowling league and had a hobby, right? But that's not why you joined. You joined to make money, to make a difference in your own income, your family, etc. So that's what we are going to do here. And that is why we have the Rich Rewards program. Now, this is, of course, in addition to our paychecks. At no time are we paid in jewelry. That's a weird little thing that sometimes people think. Not the people joining, but people that you are doing shows for sometimes. So would you like to earn free jewelry every single month?
Yeah.
All right. So then I'm going to share my screen for a second so that you know where this takes place. And normally I would have this open already. However, we had a power outage during dinner. And of course at 7:58 is when I realized it affected my computer, which is why I was 2 minutes late on the call, because I was waiting for the computer to reboot. Okay. So once you are logged in, you go to the Fields interface. All right, and here on the Fields interface are lots of helpful things to click. Now, I'm going to show you specifically what you need for now, and otherwise you could come on here and you could come out next week and still be clicking on stuff and overwhelm yourself. So we're going to keep it to what you need. Right now, what you need is the Rich Rewards brochure. And that is what allows you to earn your free and discounted jewelry. So we're going to go to the downloads. And then we're going to choose Rich Rewards Club brochure. And you can, of course, print one of these out. That way this is in front of you at all times. So I'm going to do a quick overview on this for you. And what this is the program has 6 levels. The first 4, so 4 levels are based on sales, 2 levels are based on team building. So level 1, when you sell $250 $1,000 in jewelry in your first 2 weeks of the month, then you get to pick out $250 worth of jewelry of your choice. Now, let's take a quick detour as to what constitutes a month in Park Lane. Now, Park Lane operates, the work week in Park Lane is Thursday to Wednesday. Okay, so sales that you put in from Thursday to the following Wednesday are what show up on that week's paycheck. The last Wednesday of the month is the end of the month in Park Lane world, which means that the last day in March, okay, because now that it's April, I want to detail out April dates for you. So the last Wednesday in March was March 27th. So March ended in Park Lane world on March 27th, which means the first day in April for us was March 28th. So Thursday, March 28th to Wednesday, April 3rd was week 1. And then Thursday, April 4th to Wednesday, April 10th, which is tomorrow, is week 2. What that means is that if you sell $1,000 in sales from March 28th to April 10th, you've earned Rich Rewards Level 1, and you will get to choose $250 worth of jewelry of your choice. All right, then the rest of the month is comprised for the week of April 11th to the 17th, and then April 18th to the 24th, and whatever you put in by midnight Pacific on Wednesday, April 24th concludes April. When you open your eyes on Thursday the 25th, it is now May in Park Lane world. Okay, so March, April is a 4-week month, but then May is a 5-week month because there are 5 Wednesdays in May. Every once in a while we score a 5-week month, which is always exciting because that gives us a whole extra week to earn these types of incentives. Okay, so level 2, all the rest of the levels you get the whole month to earn. Only level 1 is the time sensitive for the first 2 weeks, okay? So level 2, when you sell $1,500 net non in the whole month, you then can place your catalog order at buy one, get one free. So the minimum is 20, which means that generally you place an order for 20 catalogs, but what shows up is 40 catalogs. So that's a very fabulous way to order your catalogs. And don't be stingy with your catalogs, especially this early in the season. We're going to be using this catalog all the way till the middle of July. So there's no reason to try to survive on 10 catalogs for now. You know, order catalogs so that you're not having a heart attack about, oh my gosh, my hostess suddenly has 15 people coming. You want that to be good news, not that you're freaking out that you have 6 catalogs and 15 people are coming. You know you're going to use them. We have all the way till July. So the minute you earn some Rich Rewards, place a catalog order. All right. Then level 3 is for design for free jewelry. So $2,500 in the month, and you receive that month's ensemble of the month. It can be anything from a necklace and earrings, just a necklace, a bracelet, earrings. There's any combination of things. It shows up to your house completely free. Just one day you show up in your mailbox and there it is. And then in the next month that becomes available. So for example, this is the Je T'aime necklace, and it is gorgeous. It has crystals, and this is an $80 necklace. This was the Rich Rewards for March. So all of us that sold $2,500 in March, this showed up last week, and now we can put this in our kits, and it's an $80 piece, and we get to use that to enhance our collection. at zero cost to us. And then the final sales level is level 4, which is $4,000 in the month. And then you are rewarded with $300 in jewelry of your choice. So as you can see, 300 plus 250 is 550 in pieces that you get to pick out. And then you get your catalogs and your ensemble of the month. So you're already at, you know, almost $700 probably in value. And we haven't even done the recruiting side yet. So any month that you have 2 people join your team that go on to qualify in their first 5 weeks, you get to pick out another 300. And in a month you have 4, you get another 300. So it's about $1,100 potentially that you can earn. So again, this is a great thing to print out, and then that way you have it in front of you and can pay attention, because you definitely don't want to miss out on a Rich Rewards because you didn't hit send on the show tomorrow and you waited until Thursday. It may also have, you may get the brochure in your kit, so that's always a spot you can look at it as well. All right, so that is Rich Rewards. Okay, we've now reached the part of the call where, because I moved the book around and my notes and everything else, that I lost my notes. I do this every single week. How is this possible? Okay, got it. Hold on. You too can be a company vice president. Okay, so.
Here's my tip, clipboards, they're great.
Oh my gosh, yes. I had it, you know what it is? I closed the folder, so I didn't even see them sticking out. All right, so it's writing time. Let's write down some numbers. First, I would like you to write down 12 to 15 average orders. 12 to 15 orders, okay? Next, write down $1,000 in sales. $1,000 in sales. And then write down $300 in commission. $300 in commission. So, what do these numbers mean? When you collect 12 to 15 average orders for your launch show, and I know that all of you know 12 to 15 people with a neck, okay, then you can expect $1,000 thereabouts, probably more, in customer orders, which is going to earn you about a $300 commission check. So does that sound good? All right. And that's not just your launch party, mind you. Every party can be that number of orders, can get your hostess, and in this case you, that number of host credit, can get you that size paycheck. This can go on all the time. So having a successful launch show that your leader is likely doing with you in some way is key to having that successful launch and to get your business started off strong. And to make sure that you have business that's going to extend beyond your family and friends. Because the faster you get out of your family and friends, the faster your business is going to take off. I've been in direct sales for 19 years. And 5 of it here at Park Lane, the last 5. And could you imagine if I spent the last 19 years only selling to my family and friends? They would have killed me by now. I'd be excommunicated. They'd be running from me. I wouldn't be invited to Christmas. And all of these things would be happening because that's not how we run a business. We get started with friends and family and quickly branch out into who they know and they know and they know, etc. So there are 3 steps. 3 steps that will make your launch show a success. Number 1 is to have 2 launch shows and to over-invite and invite everyone. That's all 1 step. Okay, have 2 launch shows, over-invite and invite everyone. Step 2 is to invite using multiple methods and to know what to say. Invite using multiple methods and to know what to say. And then step 3 is to fill your calendar with shows so that you will earn your Rich Rewards and other benefits also. And of course, now we shall go over each step. So step 1 is to have 2 launch shows, over invite and invite everyone. And I do recommend scheduling 2 launch shows because one can be with your leader if geography and time and whatnot allows, and then one without the leader. And why is that? Because let's say you're going to do a show Friday night and Sunday afternoon. That way, when you call and you're inviting them and they say, oh, I can't do Fridays, Mikey has basketball every Friday, you can say, oh, no problem, I'm also doing a brunch on Sunday. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, for lack of a better word. And it helps you definitely get your 10 orders for your double host credit. Because remember how with your launch party, you're the hostess of the show. So we want to get you to the 10 orders so that you get the double host credit and you're going to receive the $400 minimum in jewelry shopping. Now, of course, you could have 7 at one show, 10 at the other, and put in a 17 order show. That's a lot of credit. So we want you to have at least the 10. And having the 2 back-to-backs helps you with that. It also really helps you with your flow because on Friday, you're going to be saying, okay, she said this, I want to remember to say that. And if you get to say it again in 2 days, you get to practice again and make those corrections and get that momentum going. If your next show isn't for 2 weeks, you'll have forgotten everything that you wanted to say from 2 weeks before. So make a list of everyone that you want to invite. Ask your family and friends to help you think of those additional names. And as you're doing that, diversify the list and don't prejudge people. Now, what I mean by that is, I'm not going to invite Sue. She doesn't have any money to spend. No, you're going to invite Sue because no one's pressuring her to buy. And what if she wants to book a show so that she can get the jewelry? What if she wants to join your team so that she has money? Okay, we want Sue there. We're going to invite her. If you're saying, I'm not inviting Fran, she's too busy. Invite Fran anyway. Number 1, let her decide if she's too busy. And number 2, busy people somehow get the most done. So let's let her have a nice night out and enjoy. Number 3 is to invite your neighbors, okay? Because if you've ever looked out the window and you saw a whole bunch of cars outside your neighbor's house and then you see the other neighbors going to your neighbor's house and you're like, I guess Susie's having friends over tonight. I wasn't invited. Now you feel annoyed with her. So let's not be that person. And even in like bad weather and stuff, and bad weather can be, depending on where you live, you might still have some sleety hail going on, or even just a bad rainstorm, right? Your neighbors still come. All they're doing is scooting across the street. They get to drink as much wine as they want and scoot back across the street. Whereas if it's really bad weather from further, people are not, that's the people who tend to cancel. So you can never offend somebody by inviting them, only by excluding them. So just let everyone decide if they want to come. And of course, you can invite your out of state and out of, the area friends and family. While they're probably not going to take a road trip to come, all of you, when you signed up, got yourself an amazing new website, and they can place an order. It can be direct shipped to themselves, and there's one of your 10 orders that's going to help you with the volume of your launch. So all of that is amazing. It helps you get credit. Quick story about when I was doing my launch. I had my launch in January, late January, and at the last minute, I saw a neighbor that I don't normally see, and I invited her to my launch party. She said, okay, let me let you know, which I figured for sure was probably not, because it's not like she was somebody that I hung out with. The day before the party, she says, she tells me she's coming. She texts me that she's coming. I was so excited. The day of the party, she texts me, is it okay if I bring my aunt and my sister? So of course I'm like, oh my God, so great. Because now I'm going to meet, and I'm going to have 3 extra people at the show, my neighbor and 2 that I never even met before. And that this would be so amazing. So all 3 of them come, all 3 of them order. And Melissa, the sister, went on and still is, continues to be one of my best customers for 5 years running. She has come to Scott events. She has purchased from VIP sales. She's come to all kinds of sip and styles we've done. She's done one-on-one personal appointments. And in an entire full circle moment, at the last minute, she decided she could come to the sip and style that I did last Wednesday. And then she said, is it okay if I bring my aunt? It's the same aunt. So the two of them came to a sip and style just last week, and between the two of them ordered close to $400 worth of stuff, of jewelry. So all because I did take the advice of inviting my neighbor. And I remembered to tell people to bring a friend. So that's really a twofold thing. So now, quick question. Those of you that work another job, have any of you received a 5% raise anytime recently?
Those days are long gone.
That is typically the answer I get when people are like, yeah, that it's not a thing. And I would imagine that you would like a 5% raise from Park Lane, especially those of you that are fashion directors, coming in as fashion directors. And here's how that is achieved, okay? When one person joins you in this business, and I will tell you as an aside that people who join with a friend always do better. Statistically, someone joining with a friend does better than someone who joins alone because they have a friend to bounce ideas off of. Maybe they go to each other's shows. They go to the meetings together. They call each other when they get new jewelry. It's fun. So when one person joins you in the business, you become eligible for a 5% raise. So if you want to write this down, the way that it works is it's a two-part thing. You need to have sold $1,000 in a calendar month at some point in your Park Lane career. And then your new team member needs to sell $1,000 in her first 5 weeks. Now, if that's not the same month that you did your 1,000, then you need to be active in the month. So if it takes till the next month, then you have to make sure that you have sales that month. That's how then you get to get a 5% raise on your personal sales, as well as there's little graduated override that you can get on what the two of you sell together as well, and as they recruit as well. So this is how you start building here at Park Lane. You do not have to know anything in order to be able to recruit. Now, you know how I was saying if you get the 12 to 15 orders, you'll have your 1,000 in sales? This is yet another reason why we want your launch show to be 1,000 in sales, because then we know we already set you up with part one to get your promotion. And now we just have to help you find somebody who wants to join. We do the same with them. So a lot of times, it can often happen just right the same month you start or right the second month that you start. And it is a pretty nice difference mathematically. 30% of when you do a $600 show is a $180 paycheck, which is, of course, great. You've gone 3 hours, you played with jewelry, you ate somebody else's Tostitos, and you drank a margarita, and you came home. I mean, this is amazing for $180, right? But if you had gotten that promotion to branch, your paycheck is $210. Now, times that by how many shows over the course of a month, over the course of 3 months, 6 months. It adds up quick. And again, I'm going to assume that as busy women, and I don't know if there's any men that'll watch this back, but there's no men on the call right now, but you have families, you have other responsibilities, you might have another job, you have all kinds of other things going on. And I'm going to assume that you want to maximize every opportunity that when you leave your house, you want to know you're making as much money as you can. And one of the best ways to do that is to promote to branch and get yourself a raise. And then after that, to help someone else promote to branch and get yourself closer to area leader, et cetera, et cetera. So as you're talking with your friends about your new venture, there are going to be some that just ask you about the business. You don't have to have the answers. You only have to have enthusiasm. So when they ask you about it, all you have to say is, oh my gosh, yes, it's amazing, and you should totally do this with me. Okay, see how this is not like rocket science? Yes, it's amazing. You should totally do this with me. My friend, fill in the blank, whoever your leader is, okay? My friend Jackie, my friend Michelle, whatever, is the one who's answering all my questions. She's really nice, and she's not pushy. Okay, now that's true of all of us, so don't laugh, okay? She's really nice and she's not pushy. Would it be okay if I had her call you tomorrow? I'd love to have her answer your question so that you get the right answer. That's all. So, yes, you should totally do this with me. Would it be okay if I had my friend blah, blah, blah? And make sure you say my friend, because saying things like my recruiter, my upline, these are like internal words that don't sound fun at all, and they sound scary, and they sound like people are joining the army, where it's like, my recruiter will call you. No. So we're not doing that. So just my friend is completely fine. Whenever you have this conversation, call or text your leader. Just, oh my gosh, my friend Sue wants to talk to you. Here's her phone number. When should I tell her you call? And off we go. That's not annoying. That's not being a pain in the neck. We want to help you do this every step of the way. Your building is our building. And the faster we help you grow, the faster we all grow. And that's why we're here. So think about, before you go to bed tonight, put some names on a piece of paper. Who do you know that would have some fun doing this with you? Who's your fun friend? Who's your fashionable friend? Who's a friend that, or a relative or a neighbor, or someone that you know that was saying something about needing some extra income? Used to have overtime and now they don't. The husband used to bring in X amount of dollars and something's happened since then. Used to work, but now is home with a baby. All of these things are reasons why people like to get started in this. So if you can make a list and then talk about that list with your leader, you're going to find yourself growing much faster than the person who thinks they can just do it all on their own. So definitely engage with your leader on these people. Okay, so that was step one, which was to do 2 launch parties, over-invite, and invite everyone. I just threw in a little bonus about how to get the raise. So let's move on to part 2, which is to invite using multiple methods and to know what to say. And the most successful new team members have the most successful launches when they use a lot of versions of how to invite people. Meaning they are making some phone calls. They are also texting. They are also sending private messages on Facebook. Maybe they're doing an evite of some sort via email. Maybe they're using a supportive Facebook event to support the show. Maybe they actually use the invitations, the actual postcards, or the little ones that are like little mini catalogs, putting an actual stamp and mailing it, or save the stamp, putting it in the neighbors' mailboxes, keep the extras in your bag and hand them out, and let people enjoy actually receiving a piece of mail that's not a bill or junk. Now, what is not successful is to use only one of any of those. So if you think I'll make a Facebook event and that's enough, it's not enough, because a lot of people do not see Facebook events. If you only text, how's your grandmother seeing the invitation? If you only call, what about your friend who never picks up the phone? So see how we have to do a bunch? But what we're definitely not doing, and this is something for you to keep in mind as a recruiter as well, and to keep in mind to tell every single one of your hostesses moving forward, no group texts ever. Number 1, it's so annoying. And number 2, it's the death of your party, because the general rule of thumb is that when you send out an invitation, the no's come first. Because what people do is they look at the calendar, and if they see, oh, that's mother-daughter night at school, I can't go, they immediately answer, I can't go, to get that off their plate, right? Oh, I know I can't go, let me just tell her now. So when you send a group text to say 40 people, now 40 people know that Mary's not coming. And then Angela says, oh, that's my son's trophy night for baseball, I can't come. So now an invitation goes out, and within 5 minutes, I can't come. The message to the other 35 people that totally would have come is, no one's going to that. Everybody said they can't come. Because they don't even know how many people are on the text. So that's why it's really bad to do group text, because on top of that, people are ready to throw their phone through the window that they're trying to eat dinner, and it's ding, 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 ding. And now people start asking other questions completely unrelated to that. Oh, you're going to trophy night too? What time does that start? Da-da-da. Oh my God, are you kidding me? This is now in front of everybody. Only singular text. I tell that to every single host, okay? So what do we say when we're inviting? This is the part where you don't have to write all these words because I do give you a script. So it's just going to be, hi, Sue, it's Michelle. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Normal people ask you why you're excited. And then you'll go on to say, I'm starting my own business with Park Lane Jewelry. Are you familiar with Park Lane? Again, pause and have the normal adult interaction. Either they have or they haven't. Either way, you're kind of moving on to, oh my God, isn't it so beautiful? I love that it's guaranteed. Everything is just so nice. I'm actually launching my business this Saturday night, and I would love if you could be there so you can give me the opinion, your opinion on the pieces that come in my kit or that I can put in my kit, depending on if your leader's using her jewelry or if you already have yours. On the pieces that came in my kit. Are you free that night to join us? And then get the answer, okay? If she says yes, then you get to say, oh my gosh, great, thank you so much for your support. I'm gonna send you a text. That way you have the info, but also you can invite a couple of people because I would love to have a bigger group get together. Now, if she says no, because you're doing 2 launches, you can quick invite her to the alternate time, right? We're not telling her the 2 dates up front. Invite her to the first one. If she can't come to that one, invite her to the second one. Now, well, when she says no to that 2, let's say, or you're not doing the 2, the automatic default, when someone can't come to me, I'm going to go to them. Okay? So you want to ask if it's okay if you come to them with the kit. So at that point, we say, oh man, I'm sorry that you can't come. Part of my job is to show the jewelry to friends and family and get your opinions on the pieces that came in my kit. Would it be okay if I stop by one day next week and show you the jewelry for about a half hour? Or we could even meet at Starbucks, or we can have a glass of wine. And then get that answer. One-on-one appointments will yield you a lot of business because at that point, when they see the jewelry in person, they want to have the show. They want to place an order. They want to maybe consider joining your team because you could do that one-on-one and make a list of what they want. This is how much it would cost with the sale, but if you had a show, it would be this. So one-on-ones are awesome. So what do you think about that wording so far? Does that seem comfortable?
Yes.
Okay, great. Then we're ready to move on to step 3, which is to fill your calendar with the number of parties that you want to do. But in general, you want to try to shoot for try to do 2 a week in the beginning to give yourself the momentum, to give yourself the practice, to give yourself the steady paychecks, and see if that's a schedule you're comfortable with. Because if you were going to go get a part-time job right now, how many days a week would you expect to go?
5.
Yeah, I mean, part-time sometimes is 5 days a week. It's just that it's shorter hours.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be that you were going to do like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It could be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and still a day on Saturday if you were going to go get a job at like Kohl's or Target, which I feel like is the default for so many women. You know, the last child starts school and it's like, I'll go get a job at Kohl's. Guess what? 3 days a week at Kohl's, and you're losing your whole day on Saturday. By the time you take the taxes out of that, you're going to make that at one show at Park Lane. One show. If you were to do the math on that in most states. So give yourself the gift of doing 2 shows a week at a minimum, which is still less than any other part-time job. It's shorter hours than any other part-time job with twice as much money, 3 times or 4 times as much money. So because we get paid weekly, if you do 2 shows a week in your first month, you're going to make $1,000 in commission. You're going to have all kinds of free jewelry coming in. You're going to see that 2 shows a week probably does fit into your life just fine. And you'll probably also have promoted to branch. And then you'll be ready to rock and roll into your second month and continue on just like that and help others to do the same. So if you're saying, oh man, I don't know if I can get 6 by myself right away, here's what you're going to do. Remember, your launch is 2 parties. Figure your leader is probably getting you at least 2 at those. So we're just asking you to plan a launch and try to get 2 more. That's it. We're going to fill in the rest at your launch, and the 2 are your launch. So it's not as much as you think. So that means that you can be asking some of the people when you call to invite them to your launch, you can ask them if they want to have a show up front. So then you're saying things like, hey, Sue, it's Michelle. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I couldn't wait to call you. I just started as a stylist with Park Lane Jewelry. Have you heard of Park Lane? If you've been a past hostess, maybe they were at your show, and obviously you're changing up these words to suit the situation. Now, here's the best part. I'm actually looking for 2 fun people to just get a few friends together so that I can practice showing the jewelry and have a little girls dress-up night. I need somebody to have a big gathering and somebody to have a little one. Would you be able to have one of those 2? You tell me you need 1 big and 1 small. We don't even specify how many. Because to some people, a small show is 9 people, and to some people, a big show is 9 people. So that if someone thinks small is 9, have at it. Really small is 3 to 5, but if they think more is small, then that's fine by me. So no sense to put preconceived notions in their head. So if they say yes, then we go into what I call like the 2-2-2 system. We're going to give them 2 choices at a time. Because one mistake that newbies tend to make is that they say, okay, so when do you want to have it? And now she's looking at the whole month of April. Meanwhile, she would have had it on a Friday night, but here she's looking at Easter's a conflict, and this day is a conflict, and that day is a conflict. And half of the time, the dates that they're conflicting with are not even the day of the week they want their party, because they're looking at a whole month and getting overwhelmed. So the way that I have booked shows for I learned this really early in my direct sales career and have used it successfully all the time, is, okay, so what were you thinking of more of, would you like a weekday or a weekend? That's the first 2 choices that they're choosing from. Now, if you can't do weekdays, then you're just saying, do you want Saturday or Sunday? You know, you're starting out with a choice of days. So let's say you can do either one. Okay, so do you want a weekend or a weekday? Oh, weekdays are so crazy with the kids. I think I'd rather have a weekend. Okay, so would you like a day slot, like a brunch and bling, or a girls' night out evening type of show? Oh, I guess a brunch sounds fun. That does sound good. Okay, great. I have Saturday the 7th and Sunday the 15th. Which is better? So we're not overwhelming them with so many options at a time. You will find that 90% of the time, they're taking one of those 2 choices because you've narrowed it down. If they say neither, then of course go to the next available Saturday or Sunday day that you have and continue on from there. If she says no, she will not have one of those gatherings, or she can't, then you invite her to your launch. I'd love to have you at my launch show. I'm starting it this Saturday. See if she can come to that. If she says yes, I'll send you the text. Please bring a friend. If she says no, would it be okay if I stop by one day next week? So it's really the same as before. We just asked first if they wanted to have their own show. And they may well decide to have their own show upon coming to your launch, but we don't know that yet. So generally, if they said no to hosting, no to coming, they will let you at least come by one day next week, because that's a lot of no's in a row. But I will warn you that there are going to be people that say no to every single one of those things. You may be surprised to find out it's your sister, it's your best friend, people that you really thought were going to say yes, sometimes are not going to. And it's important that especially if you're new to sales, that you understand that it's not a personal no. You know, they're not saying like, no, Denise, you're so annoying. I don't know what you're asking me that for. Don't ever call me again. Delete me out of your phone. That's not what they're saying. They're just saying, no, they can't do that right now. Mm-hmm. It might mean no, not right now. It might mean no, not ever, but probably not. But it definitely doesn't mean no and I hate you. But even though sometimes that's what it feels like when you get a lot of them in a row. But the thing to keep in mind is that generally 1 in 10 will say yes. The longer you're in the business, the better your odds will become. But if you're figuring 1 in 10, that means theoretically you could get 9 no's in a row before you get to 10. It also means that you could get up to number 17 and then 18 and 19 say yes in a row. So, keep at it. Although if you do get that many no's in a row, definitely call your leader back and be like, hey, this is what I'm saying. Can you tell me if I should fix it? Because we don't want you to go through so many no's without fixing you or fixing what you're saying. Okay, so just don't take that personally is really what I'm trying to say there. So now, so I get people that are brand new and excited say, now, am I allowed to collect an order before the show? Absolutely. That's why you have your website. That's why you have outside order forms. That's why you have catalogs. So go ahead and collect those orders. You can put them in on your website. You can wait until your leader advises you how to do it. But definitely collect the orders, book the shows, do everything you can before that first show. So, quick other thing that I'll show you. Now, some of you are in my group and some of you are not, but all the leaders do have access to what we call the Sparkle document. So I'm going to show you where it is in my team group, and then if you're not under me, just ask your leader where your leader keeps it. So what we did as a team is we liked to have our own resource of everything a new and even an experienced team member would want to know moving forward. So here in Facebook groups now, it used to be called the pinned post, which stayed at the top. They now made a whole section called announcements. So this is the announcements section of my group. And this is where we keep the most important things that are happening in a given month. So this is the Sparkle resource. And it's a big, long list of trainings of things that you will probably want to know. So, for example, this is the recording of the welcome call. You don't have to do that because you're all on here live. So that's one that you won't have to do. If you also want to do, check out an orientation with Mary Grace, that's here. If you still need to choose your kit, this video is advising you on how to make sure that you don't just pick all silver or all stuff you like, So, so you'll scroll through here and see lots of helpful things. When you're ready to start entering shows, there's a whole section here on order entry, so that you don't have to go either struggle through it yourself or call your leader and feel like she has to sit on the phone with you while you're trying to figure this out. Open the video on how to open the show and enter the orders, or open that video on your phone and then sit at your computer and hit play, hit pause, do a little. This way, when you're a commuter on the train, when you like to get up early or you get to stay up late, you can empower yourself to do a lot of these things without being at the schedule mercy of your recruiter or your leader. This is one of my favorites, the benefit selling. When I did the training on how and why, like why is a certain bracelet good to sell to a certain customer, things like that. And then some of our recruiting resources are here as well. So I just want to make sure that you knew where this resource was. So just ask your leader where she keeps it. It might be in the exact same spot, just within your team's page. Going back to the Park Lane website. Oh, shoot, I closed it by accident. Well, the network and the order entry and the Rich Rewards brochure really is enough for now. You don't have to be all over that website trying to find this, that, and the other thing. We try to keep all of our resources together because we know they're good, we know what they are, we know where to find them. What's on the field interface? We don't know. So, so I'm going to stop the recording. However, we have about 5 minutes that I can answer any questions or you can share any comments that you have. So let me just stop the recording. And those of you that are watching the playback, hope that this was helpful.